Okay, our application is now up and running on our web server, but it is not accessible to the internet, which kind of defeats the purpose, of course. But yeah, let's see. So if I try to ping my web server on the port that Rocket listens to, I am not able to access it. So what I need to do here now, because our Rocket application is hidden in our web server, we want to bring something, a real web server, to expose it on the internet. And this web server that we will use is nginx. We could use just Rocket, but nginx is a more battle-tested and more reliable web server, which is used by millions of websites, which is probably a good reason to use nginx and not straight Rocket. We will also use nginx for SSL, because we want to have our endpoints to be secured behind an SSL certificate and TLS, so whoever talks to our endpoints talks to them securely via HTTPS and not via just plain HTTP, because remember, we are going to be transferring private data of Rustaceans, names, emails. We don't want these data to be exposed on the internet just with the plain text version of HTTP. That's why we will make use of HTTPS. Nginx will help us with that, but also along with Nginx for the SSL certificate, we're going to use Let's Encrypt and certbot. It is a way to register your domains and issue certificates for them in an automated fashion, and basically also renewing them afterwards. It is a lot easier than any other certificate provider. So certbot along with nginx, we will use these two tools and hide Rocket behind them, basically offloading some of the security and reliability concerns from Rocket to better applications for that. Okay, so I will not go through the installation of nginx since it is outside of the scope, but instead I'm gonna make the virtual host file for you, nginx conf. I will put it under the DevOps directory, and in here what we want is we have two versions of our server, let's call it like that. We have one that listens to port 80, and this is like the plain HTTP variant, which doesn't have any security at all. And then we also have the 443 port, which is the SSL port, and this is where we want to use what we want to use to serve our requests from. I have a domain. I registered the domain. This is my domain. I have already DNS record for it. I will not go through how to create DNS records, something that I expect you to know how to do it, or maybe you already have a DNS record for your domain, you can use your own domain. And then we're going to make use of certbot command. We're going to pass the nginx plugin as a parameter, and then we're going to specify the domain. So this command, after it is done successfully, it will provide us with two files. This is the first file, the PEM, the certificate fullchain.pem file, and then the private key of the certificate, private key PEM. These both files need to be there and generated by certbot in order for nginx to find them and to basically fulfill the SSL communication from client to server. And then after the SSL communication is successful, And then basically what nginx will do, it will proxy all the requests to Rocket. See, this proxy pass directive will make all the requests pass through to Rocket, which is listening to this URL, and then Rocket will respond and nginx will serve the response. This way we make sure that the communication to our REST endpoints is secure and protected. And see up here, I don't know if you noticed, but we are redirecting all the traffic from HTTP version to HTTPS version. What I am gonna do, I'm gonna make sure that my own nginx web server runs this virtual host. I'm gonna go in my server. Again, this is like usual Debian folder structure in it. I will create a new file. I will call it rocket up. No need for .conf actually. And here I'm gonna paste the configuration of my virtual host, and then afterwards I'm gonna reload the nginx. So I'm gonna use systemctl again, systemctl restart nginx, or we can actually use reload as well. And this now read the new virtual host and everything. So if you have the certificate in your server, then nginx will be able to talk to your Rocket application, but beforehand use the certificate also for SSL handshaking and so on. Let's go ahead and try that. So my domain is called Udemy Rocket, all this long thingy. I'm gonna curl it. See, we don't need to specify any port now, because this will talk to nginx port 80, which is the standard port of HTTP. In theory, if I now try it like this, I will receive a redirect to the HTTPS version of the domain. Let's see. Yep. Nginx is trying to redirect me. If we also check the headers, you can see that the location it sends me to is the version of the SSL version of my endpoints. And then here I see we have not found by Rocket. So let's try the Rastasians endpoint and see the 401 error. Nice. Yeah, like that now it is a lot easier. I don't need to specify any port, I just have the domain, HTTPS there, and yeah. Now everyone on the internet can ping our endpoints, they can start working with our Rastasians database. Of course, they need to have some kind of the authorization header with the right username and password, of course. So basic auth also works and is satisfied, but other than that, they have the security of SSL, and we can guarantee that all the communication between their clients and our endpoint is gonna be safe and secure. And then yeah, we have a domain name which is a lot easier for people to remember. Sometimes, of course, not in this case. Anyways, yeah.